let's see. No. I've got to react to some Drake stuff. Whoa, what's his name again? If I just put lawsuit reaction, do you know what I mean? In fact, I've got an idea. It wasn't this one. You know what? Let me just react to this first, and then I know I'll potentially find exactly what I was looking for. Because there was this, but there was something else. So how Drake is suing.
Now, the more everybody has been processing the fact that
give me a second. I don't know. Give me a second. All right, so yeah, this is how Drake revealed he's suing Kendrick Lamar next. Wow. Okay, yeah, this is perfect to react to. Because, what's going on?
that we have reached a point where Drake has hit such a low that he is literally suing over a rap beef beyond everything we can see, which is proving more than ever that Drake is the saddest, softest, and most embarrassing figure that we have ever seen in all of hip-hop history. In this time where just in the matter of a month or so, Drake went from filing a petition about Not Like Us and is now actually going through with an entire suit. Drake has shown that when it comes to making any sort of strange or questionable move, nothing is ever off the table for him. And really, when we trace this pattern of choices he has already made that...
Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I might just have to react to you see all the names that I listed on. Now, what I want to do, I'm gonna just to be in a different stream because it's gonna take me a bit longer than usual to actually to go through the lawsuit. I want to fully break it down because obviously I did a reaction video to that music attorney's version of it, but like she didn't actually go through everything. Yeah, but seeing as I've got access to the full thing, we're gonna go through the full thing. All right. So anyway, let's keep it moving. Hang on.
Defying his status as the biggest loser to ever touch a mic, Drake has now clearly expressed that beyond ever doing or trying just one thing that will ever be a step in the right direction, this pathetic and bitter man that we all now know who he is on the inside more than ever doesn't even care about his own image anymore. And from his label UMG to everyone else he has been against, like LeBron James, who of course Drake's...
The funny thing is, why is this so low? The funny thing is, yeah,
spread some nasty rumors about him. What's clear is that Drake's only desire now is to not help himself.
Yeah, I actually think the funny thing is, I actually think he genuinely does care about his image, and that's the whole point of it. I feel like he's in the mindset of denial right now. Soon, he will get to depression. I don't want to call that for him, but that is what's going to happen, right? Then after the depression, then he comes to the realization that, okay, yeah, he actually lost. Do you know what I mean? And he's going to admit that he lost. But then, because of the actions he's taken, you know what I mean? There's going to be fatal consequences, and that is what it is. And when I say fatal, I mean fatal in terms of legal stuff, basically. That's what I'm talking about, legal stuff. So just to be very, very clear what I'm talking about, all right? Because, again, you can't put, I said this, but there's so many past streams when I'm talking about Drake. You point one finger, three fingers are pointing that back at you. And also, it's like you can't act as if you haven't done any dirt in your life. You can't act like you're clean. You ain't clean. You know what I mean? You ain't clean. Yeah, man, let's keep moving.
Self like a normal person would, but it's to now try and ruin everything and everyone and hopefully have it all go down with him. And really, considering the steps Drake has already been taking and the way he has been pulling at strings to try and argue that he has been a victim of the entire music industry, the next natural step for the most pathetic and embarrassing crash out we have ever seen from a single artist in the history of hip-hop would be to just do the thing that he has been waiting to do ever since the summer of 2024, which is just to sue Kendrick Lamar straight up. And now before we go any further into what Drake is seemingly waiting for, and what his plan is going to be to make a somehow even more irredeemable move than his last, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now when it comes to the weak and insecure man that is Drake, obviously as he has become the first rapper to start up a lawsuit because of the implications, effects, and impacts of a rap beef on him, to
do you see what I'm gonna say? The first rapper. Sorry, Soulja Boy, ain't you? You know how Soulja Boy would actually be the first rapper to do so many stuff. Obviously, he doesn't want to be the first rapper to do this. You know what I mean? Because he used to say he wanted to be like Drake, and keep moving.
To make a move like this, beyond all the delusion and yes men you have to be surrounded by to ever convince someone to crash out to the point we are at, it's also clear that Drake has reached a point where, because hip-hop has began to turn back into a force where it's more in tune with its roots and as a result, more honest about what is and isn't allowed and respected in the culture, as Drake has always been the guy standing in the way of rap turning back to this point that Kendrick and this beef have reset things to in the first place. Obviously, he isn't just being actively rejected from this entire sector of rap music, but now he no longer cares about his public image one bit. And when it comes to crash outs, it's really strange that before even trying to release a proper comeback album or anything that could have saved his name a little, that Drake has just come out and...
I don't think anything could have really saved his name. And the only reason why I don't think anything could have saved his name is because let's put this into full perspective. You have to understand who his key audience are. You understand? Then you also have to understand the other thing where it's like, what has he always really been about? He's always, for me personally, I always felt like he was an industry. You know how people like you term industry plant? That's how I've always seen him. I just seen him as an industry plant. I didn't know what the term was back then, because there never really was a term. But he's essentially an industry plant. You know what I mean? If I could find a documentary on the Drake situation of how, you know what I mean? There's certain things that seem so obvious, because wasn't he not in a documentary? Like, in fact, it wasn't even a documentary, literally called Mockumentary, mocking hip hop, like literally mocking hip hop. You know what I'm saying? If I can find that and react to it, I will. Let's go.
Served paperwork that is attempting to redefine and change the parameters that all lyricists have used to turn rap into one of the most culturally important art forms that we have ever seen. But now, seemingly with this ultimate loser and victim mentality Drake has, which has now made him operate without any consideration for the impact of what he is doing on not just others, but even when it comes to his own reputation and legacy, of course, I think every single person should be able to look around at what's happened and say with 100% certainty that besides a comeback, nothing is off the table from Drake. Because really, from going from a bad response track to failed single releases and features to embarrassing social media posts to an entire lawsuit, I mean, the moments speak for themselves. Drake has just progressively become more and more unhinged and out of touch with reality. And after he has already pushed how bad taking an L across any sort of competition can really be, we just can't count out the fact that he will take this loss further, and I really think unless something happens in this time where UMG is able to put this thing away and embarrass Drake very soon, Drake is going to somehow manage to shock audiences like they never have been before. And this will be from hitting Kendrick Lamar with a defamation suit over everything that Kendrick Lamar said in Not Like Us. And now with this, from the ridiculous claims that Drake is already...
Okay, let's say he does do that. Let's say he does that. You do know that Kendrick is ready for Drake. Like, lawsuit or no lawsuit, Kendrick is ready. Remember what he said, even in Not Like Us, how many stocks do I have? How many stocks do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. So he's ready. And the fact that, I don't know who it was, but they said that, give me a second. Oh, sure, no. That they said, someone said that Drake, no, not Drake, clearly obviously. They said that Kendrick Lamar is actually in the studio recording. You know what I'm saying? He's in the studio recording, bruv. So if he's recording, best believe he is ready. Yeah, like he's ready for whatever. And if it has to go to court, then you know what I mean? Like, best believe he will win that lawsuit anyway. And like what's her name, Miss Crystal Delegato, the music attorney, well, just say top music attorney, like she even said, defamation lawsuits are not that easy to win. They're not, and I find it very intriguing to hear from attorneys in general in regards to this, only because it makes me think, okay, what do they know about this? How, do you know what I mean? Like, but you didn't go through the thing fully. So, like I said, I'm going to go through it, and then if there's any words or whatever, I will have to research it, or we can dialogue together, get through the live chat, and make sense of these type of situations and learn from it as well. That's one thing as well. It's not just about this whole. This ain't just for whatever entertainment. This is also like a educational point. You understand? Because it's letting me be aware. The fact that he mentioned Kai Sinet, No Life Shack, RDC, and he mentioned Zias, and he mentioned the Cardio family, and they're all reactors, that let me know that, okay, or the content creators, that let me know that, okay, if this is what's happening, let me understand what my position is in this content creation world. You get it? Let's keep it moving.
Already made in the UMG lawsuit about Kendrick's bars, which we don't even have time to detail how wild some of the reaches Drake was trying to make there are, to I'm sure a lot more that will be revealed to try and make his claims look stronger. But in reality, they will be so ridiculous that they will end up not just backfiring on him, but boosting up Not Like Us' streams once again, because every time Drake cries about this song, again, just showing how bad his strategy is. His losses only turns into more victories for Kendrick, as this record isn't just becoming more and more popular every time Drake opens his mouth, but it's also becoming more important of a record to the entire history of hip-hop and music as a whole. And so, of course, what Drake wants to do is try and finally find a way to actually rectify the L he took in his beef with Kendrick Lamar in his own eyes, as after literally failing in every single way he could have possibly tried to not just save himself from taking a loss, but also in what of course has caused this crash out to the level we have seen, save his own ego from ever having to have a reality check. If Drake really does go after Kendrick, I think this is the final stage of his plan to try and do anything to change the course of history. And while he of course is in a head-to-head with UMG,
the thing is, he can't change the course of history either way. We know it's recorded information now. Do you know what I mean? That it's literally recorded information. The fact that it's even, what's wild here? The fact that the mention of streamers, YouTubers, content creators that are in the lawsuit that ironically happen to be black. Not so there's no because there were some white people that actually had a notable amount of views, and some of them were actually from Canada as well, by the way. You know what I mean? Because I know I watched more than a few. You know what I mean? I watched more than a few. Because I actually found it entertaining to watch reactions of other people reacting to the beef. Do you know what I mean? Like the back and forth, just hearing what people gotta say and all that stuff there. I found it entertaining. You know what I mean? So for me personally, it's not like he can change the course of history. He can't. You can't like win a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit against Drake or even against UMG and think that that's a W. You know what I mean? It will always be an L. Regardless, it will always, because even just taking it this far means it's an L. Like it's not even a thing where in years to come people could say, oh, it was debatable Kendrick won or debatable that Nas won. You see the same way like some people would debate, that Nas won or Jay-Z won. There's still this debate for years, decades. Like listen, you know how long ago that beef was? Do you understand? And then even you got LL Cool J and he had one with cannabis as well. Well, we know he won against cannabis, that's a fact. But you get the point I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? I think even there was Ice-T versus LL Cool J as well. That one again is debatable. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Anyway, let's keep it moving. That's what hip hop should be about. It should be about years later we're debating who really won. Like, do you know what I mean? Because years later you can listen to something again and be like, nah, you know what? I actually think they won because of this or that. You know what I mean? Like, but obviously in this situation, it really comes down to the very fact that this has now come to a lawsuit. Regardless of whatever happens, this is now a federal lawsuit against UMG. Would he go against Kendrick? I very much doubt it. I'll be surprised, and like we said, he may surprise us. Like this guy said, he may surprise us, and I don't know. We'll see what happens.
At the moment, as hip hop already lost respect for him, and all of us saw through the trick of him going after his label for Not Like Us as opposed to Kendrick directly, because it's always been so obvious why all of this is happening in the first place. But the only benefit Drake has when it comes to anything in this situation really is that he already has lost so much, and he already walks around with no respect in the first place, which would really just make this entire effort a move where he is playing for pure pettiness and not to better himself but only to bring down others. And now what really makes this situation concerning when it comes to Drake actually filing a suit against Kendrick is that when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us, we are about to get a stretch of time where the record and Kendrick are going to be getting more attention from the general and casual public than they have ever seen. As of course, as the Grammys are February 2nd, and Not Like Us is projected to win multiple awards, this will of course make this entire situation even crazier. And then after that, there is going to be the Super Bowl. And really, at this point, Kendrick's actual performance is really going to be bigger than the game, because with all of Drake's crying and the actual suit at hand, the stakes for somebody going up to his stage and playing a record have never been higher. Now, while people think Drake has been trying to get the NFL to make sure Kendrick won't play Not Like Us because having this song play on over 100 million...
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people do think that. I was thinking that at first. I don't even. It's so. I don't know what he wants. You know what it is? I feel like Drake is just trying to find a way to get a W, and obviously in his head and in his mind, he's thinking, if I do this, I'll get a W, and it's a win for me, and cool. That's all that matters. But he's not realizing this is not hip hop. Do you know what I mean? This is not hip hop, right? You can't be doing this and thinking it's hip hop. Okay, cool, he may not care about hip hop anymore. But it's like at the same time, it's like, what does he want? I feel this is what I genuinely feel. It may not be because it's not going to be a thing where he can't perform, where Kendrick can't perform Not Like Us. If that's the case, then it is what it is. But when I say it is what it is, you do know that regardless of whatever happens, they're gonna be singing Not Like Us in the first place. Do you know what I mean? The crowd are going to sing it in the first place. So that's another thing. You can't. That's how you know when a song is actually a massive hit. When regardless whether you're allowed to perform it or not, people are gonna want to know. They'll perform it for you. How about that? You know what I mean? They'll perform. So I guess it's a catch-22 because he's caring about this stuff, and he's acting like he doesn't care, but he genuinely does care, and he's I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's a weird situation, man.
Million casual viewers TVs will manage to make his public image even worse and really solidify Kendrick's win and this change in his downfall as a whole. And while he has definitely been trying to push for this behind the scenes for exactly this to happen, as even Drake did a collab with the NFL not too long ago to try and create some sort of tie with him, and with him deciding to release all of these claims within this time, it seems to be a very intentional way to try to scare the NFL from having Kendrick Lamar play a record that is already under the microscope like it has never been before. But even with Drake doing all of this, I don't think he's had any look.
I fully hear that, and I was thinking that, and I thought, nah, it doesn't make sense because look, Rock Nation owned by Jay-Z, he was in the spotlight and under the microscope. But the NFL decided, no, we're still gonna literally rock with Jay-Z. Do you know what I mean? Because we know these other you know what I mean. We're gonna stand by him. And the good thing about this, the good thing about it is, like the NFL. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't seem like they care about certain things other than if you can make the money. You know what I mean? And you get the eyes and attention of viewers, it is what it is. Like this is what Drake needs to understand. If you've got a deal with NFL, have your deal with NFL, do your thing. If Kendrick has got his deal with NFL to perform at halftime Super Bowl, then he's gonna do his thing. It doesn't always have to be a thing where even if Drake is scared to pull up, he doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to. He doesn't need, like, if he's got his shot, he's got his thing, cool. If people will buy, they will buy. It's not that deep. Like, I don't understand why he's moving like this. I don't know. Like, I doubt it, because the NFL, like, think about it. If the NFL agree to the fact that Kendrick Lamar shouldn't be performing Not Like Us, or if it's a case of you can perform it, but you got to eradicate these words and you got to change it, then I'm telling you this for now, and I'm telling you this for free. I guarantee you that's not going to go down well. Do you see what I'm trying to say? That's not going to go down well. It won't go down well. It just won't. It just won't. That's just how life is. Because people will have something to say about it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. No, this is a weird time, man. A weird time. It's a weird time. Oh, that's all I can say. Because it's unpredictable.
Luck doing this, as between Jay and Kendrick, who are both not on good terms with Drake, there is no way the people who curate the music for this thing are gonna budge for Drake. And even if Kendrick has orders to not even perform the clean version of certain parts of the record, knowing Kendrick and knowing the moment, it's gonna play. And no matter what verse we hear, or even if it's just the hook, the moment will be clear and the message will be sent out. But now, while the rest of the world is going to be celebrating hip-hop greatness and everything Kendrick has done when the Super Bowl happens, there's going to be one person who is waiting on this opportunity to do the most disgusting and vile thing that somebody who has ever classified themselves as a lyrical competitor ever has. Because when it comes to Drake and just the sad state that his entire career is in, really between the Grammys and then the Super Bowl, for these pathetic victim mentality driven suits that he loves throwing out more than actual music at this point. These two events for his narrative will add to whatever he is going to try to build up and ultimately say that Kendrick Lamar has done to him. And if you thought that Drake playing the victim in this first suit is bad, just imagine how much Drake is going to whine here and stretch every single second of reality when he can try and position Kendrick Lamar's performance to over 100 million people as something that was all made to end his career. And now from this, and again making this bigger narrative that he is falsely trying to push all of these people and major entities being against him, to even all the other stops he is going to pull out in this time where, again, Drake has set the standard and precedent that he will just do about anything to try and save his own fragile ego from ever facing the truth that he lost in this rap beef because Kendrick just prepared more and is a more skilled MC. And now, right in line with all the moments we have already witnessed, this would really be the finale of how far Drake can go in what is by far the biggest downfall we've ever seen from a rapper. And now what's also important to note here and really adds context into where Drake's head may be at is first that Kendrick Lamar has a short-term deal with UMG, which means that he will fully be independent after a few more albums according to Drake in the first place. And the reason why this is important is that when Drake made his first petition, UMG did tell him that if he has a problem with Kendrick and the song he made, he should go after Mr. Duckworth directly. And depending on how everything goes with them...
And that's true. You should go after them directly. But again, I just don't see that happening. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening. Otherwise, he would have done it in the first place. I think Drake is genuinely scared of Drake. Sorry. No. That's definitely wrong. I think Drake is definitely scared of Kendrick. 100%. He's scared of him. I'm convinced of. He's scared of him.
Ultimately, even more than Drake just waiting for all these events to line up so he can play the biggest victim card ever, he may be waiting to get a green light from the label so he doesn't look as soft as he otherwise would, or so he doesn't have to handle two of these things at the same time. But overall, no matter where Drake goes from here at this point, this guy is just going to stay as the villain of hip-hop and really as the worst thing that has happened to the genre in so long. Because to be at this point where he is now with his label and what could become Kendrick Lamar very soon, he is now trying to change the entire rules of rap beef and lyricism as a whole. And really, wherever he goes from here with all of this, there is no longer any way he can go up from here. And the only thing that he can do at this point, and I am sure that we will see, is just find more and more ways to ruin his reputation and take his legacy out of every single conversation until he possibly can anymore. And so now with all of this said, let me know, what do you think of where this entire situation with Drake is going, and how do you think it's all going to play out from here? Now, I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see why I think Drake just made the worst move in hip-hop history already with what he just did, check out the suggested video.
Yeah, so my thoughts. Let's see what people say in the comments though, because I'm curious to know something. Yeah, I need to watch that as well. Um, all right, so let's see what people say in the comments real quick. All right, Kendrick was right. We're watching the. No, he's right about we are, but I think that is that alludes to Diddy. If I was going to say anything about that, that's what I believe. I could be wrong, but it just seems so the timing of that. But yeah, F Rebel, this is a lifelong battle with yourself. Someone get Aubrey a tuna bagel and wine spritzer and tell him to calm down. And that's what I'm gonna put. Someone else put exactly what I was gonna put, so I'm gonna remix it. I'm gonna say it clearly shows that Drake is unbothered by this. And the joke is UMG dissed him as well. So he needs to no. I put the joke is UMG so I'd rather just say what should I say? What should I say? What should I say? All right, it clearly shows that Drake is unbothered by this, right? Hold on. But honestly, I think Kendrick is ready for Drake next steps. Because remember, you're not as calculated. Hold on, calculated. You're not as calculated. I can even predict your angle. Do you know what I mean? That's what Kendrick said in Euphoria. So imagine what he's thinking now. Like this is what people need to analyze. So that's what I'm thinking. That's if it is gonna go to a lawsuit, trust me, if it does go to a defamation lawsuit against Kendrick Lamar, best believe Kendrick is ready. Like fully ready. You know what I mean? And I do believe UMG would fully back him. Do you understand? Financially as well. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you have to pay for your own lawsuits here and there, but it's the thing of, hey, listen, Drake is just in, I don't know. Let me put something. Oh, I can't spell it.